Hello, 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 and welcome everyone to What's the Tea with Gen X, Y, and Z. We are three generations, three perspectives, one cup of truth. So I want you to get ready for a refreshing take on hot button topics because the three of us, we're going to be brewing up a steaming hot take on today's most pressing issues where we're going to dish on everything from social justice to pop culture. With humor, honesty, and maybe even a little hefty debate, we're going to sip the tea, stir the truth, and find some common ground across the generation. This show is, I promise you, insightful and guaranteed to what? Stir the pot. So, welcome again. I am Dr. Melissa representing the X generation.
And I'm Amber holding it down for us millennials.
And I'm Zion, as always, keeping it real for Gen Z.
Keeping it real. So let me keep it all the way real, y'all.
Keep it real.
We're using a different video platform.
Mm-hmm.
And so one of the things you'll hear me say in life is that there's one thing that's inevitable, and that's change.
Yes.
Yep.
And so we're having to navigate to this new platform that's going to be amazing after we get the hang of it.
Yes.
So I promise you, listen, if you haven't had your laugh today, I guarantee you, we're not only going to stir the pot, we're going to give you a good laugh today because this is going to look like a bloopers reel. And guess what? We're going to be okay with it.
Absolutely.
Okay? So are y'all rocking with us? Yeah. Okay, so
It's that digital literacy. Go back.
Now,
Go back a couple episodes. I feel like you can find any episode in our catalog and it's relatable.
Yeah, but you was a little brutal in that episode.
Was it?
Yeah. You made some people, I'm sure, feel bad if they
I was informative, insightful, guaranteed to stir the pot.
You didn't stir the pot. You took the pot and poured it over our heads.
We forgot something.
What?
We forgot something before we started this.
What?
Guess who's back? Back again. Guess who's back?
Yeah. Did we make that up, or that's a real song?
Yeah. That's
a real song.
Oh, I thought it was made up too. My bad.
That's a real song.
So listen, y'all. Yes, I am back. Let me share with our dear audience what's been going on. Dr. Melissa found herself in Paris as an invited keynote speaker for International Women's Day.
Yes.
So I am truly humbled, and I say that not to impress you, but to impress upon you that anything is possible. This chick is from a dirt road in rural Virginia, and so humbled but also very blessed that my left and my right were able to hold it down. So tremendously proud of them. I'm sure they got a chance to dish on some stuff when the old chick was away from the table. You know how when you leave, parents, y'all raise, you know when you go out of town and you just know the kids are like, are they gone? Are they gone? And then they start acting a whole fool.
No, it was the complete opposite.
We left that house in one piece, didn't we? You came back to the house being in one piece.
Yes, we were definitely waiting for it to come back. It's like, hey, we need that back.
Well, I tell you, the thing about it is, the last few weeks we've been taking on a number of things, and all very exciting and relevant. But what we promise you guys all the time is pop culture, social justice.
Yes.
So what I love about this show, you guys, is that we can get down with the get down and talk about Kendrick Lamar.
Casually don't know the lyrics.
I don't.
I'm over
but I do like the little two-step. Right?
I was trying to see which song she was talking about because he did a plethora.
She's talking about Not Like Us with the little.
Gotcha.
Two things.
You giving Braun a run for his money right now. I ain't gonna lie to you.
And maybe Dwight too, because he was looking like a.
LeBron don't know lyrics. Now he'd be like, boom, 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 first day.
Oh, I was talking about Dwight Howard's dancing.
No, Dwight can dance. Right? He was on Dance with the Stars.
I saw it.
Well, that's why he lost. Because he can't dance.
Ooh,
that was shady. I'm sorry.
Shady.
Hey, that's you spilling the tea. That was you dumping the tea.
Right there. Her name is Amber. Just so you know. Well, here's the thing. I said that to say that I love the fact that we can take on topics from the spectrum. a wide spectrum, right? We can talk about the things that make us laugh and giggle, and then we can also talk about the serious things. And if you look back at our last episode, we took on everything from slang and that sort of thing to even social justice and advocacy and taking on societal changes. So
Yes.
I love that we're very diverse.
Yeah.
Today, because I was gone, and because they got to choose the topics before, right? Of course, Dr. M wants to go deep today. Today, you guys, what I want us to talk about is it's another aspect of relationships, right? But I think it's an aspect that many of our viewers will find themselves somewhere in that line, right?
Yeah.
Because what we're talking about today is a word called enabling.
Mm-mm.
Enabling. Now, those of us that are a part of the substance abuse community, I've been in behavioral health, substance abuse specific for the last 30 years. We know that enabling is a term that we use with substance use disorders to talk about how sometimes not the person that has the disorder, but the people around them become more of the problem than they are because you're enabling them. In other words, an example of enabling would be if my sister had an addiction and my sister needed to pay her rent. And she knows that her rent is $1,000. But my sister goes out and spends $500 of her rent money consistently. Like, this is not the first time it's happened. This is something she has done. And each time somebody gives her the $500 that she needs in order to not be evicted.
Okay.
Most family members would say that's what you're supposed to do. She's $500 short. If you don't give her the $500 for the rent, she'll be evicted. Like, you're supposed to. Here's what we learned from behavioral health and from the field of recovery and addiction and all of that, is that if my sister is able to get high and spend $500 of her $1,000 rent money, and somebody's going to give her the $500, there's not a whole lot of incentive to not use $500 to get high.
Right.
Because I'm going to get bailed out.
Right.
Yeah.
Not enabling would be to say, I love you. No.
Yeah.
That no. So that's what we're talking about today. Here's the thing. This whole enabling thing is way bigger than just behavior health.
Right.
Way.
So let's chat about that. Let's talk about how we either enable other people, or if we are the person that is being enabled. Let's talk about that. Let's dish.
That's easy to do. I've experienced it from both sides of the stick. So I've had relatives that or just people in my life in general that knew they had certain responsibilities, but would be like, oh, well, I can call Amber and, she'll help me out. And, they're like, this is just that one time. That one time turns to 2 times, and 2 times turns to 3 times.
Yep.
And then it's just a repetitive thing.
Yep.
Until I had to sit back and realize, I'm like, I'm not a bank. I have my own responsibilities. I have my own children.
Right.
And I had to set that boundary for myself in order to treat people teach people how to treat me in that stance. So I've been on both sides. And then, on the other side of someone being the enabler or thinking they're being the enabler goes back to teaching people how to treat you.
Yeah.
From a relationship stance.
Right.
Where someone knows that you're going through something and they kind of like prey on it to a certain degree. And they'll do all of these things for you. It's not as if you asked for it to be done, but it was done for you. But then it backfires and like, oh, well, you're the problem. I never told you to do these things. So it was now, I was basically enabling you to do that. It's like, no, that's not what it was. That's something that you self-inflicted on your own.
Right.
So, like I said, I've been on both sides. Sometimes you don't realize you're doing it until something catastrophic happens or something is said to you and it makes you take a a look back and you self-reflect.
That
And you're
too
like,
late.
or if it's too late and you're
Yeah.
like, dang, maybe I could have did that better. I think things that happen to you are learning experiences, and
Absolutely.
you're not supposed to, get down too hard on yourself. But once you realize it's the problem, don't keep making the same mistakes multiple times when you've already identified that it's an issue. So, yeah, I know I said a whole bunch, y'all, but
no, that was good. That was good stuff.
For sure.
That was good stuff. You gave me a couple of things to unpack. Yeah,
100%. So for me, by the way, I just want to start off saying I love this topic. So shout out to whoever came up with this topic. I was gonna see if she was gonna do that night, because you know how she was talking about humility earlier. So I thought that was just gonna be funny. Anyway, I loved how you said enabling is not just exclusive to like substance abuse or just substances in general. Like it's so broad. Mm-hmm. And to me, in my experience, I think the enabler is worse than the enabled. Because you're really contributing to the problem, and you're essentially telling that person you're doing nothing wrong. Yeah. So I feel like we have to kind of stop looking at it like it's it's a punishment, like it's so punitive, and really look at it to like helping that person reevaluate themselves and to like take accountability for their actions, because you're not going to be here forever to help that individual. Like with the analogy you use with just kind of like sister and rent, what happens if you're not doing good financially? What your sister gonna do? Because them people at the leasing office, and she'd be like, well, usually my sister give me like $500. Oh, baby, that's too tough for you. You're gonna have to go downtown. Mm-hmm. They got the places down the street maybe for $800 if you can afford that. But yeah, so like in my personal experience, I've definitely been an enabler, because I was thinking it was a kindness. Yeah. I was doing that person a favor, but in reality, what you do is you prevent them from evaluating themselves. Exactly. Like I've had homeboys, and the homeboys I've had, like for example, you know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna say no names, but for example, like because sometimes people, and it's a humanistic thing, so it's okay, but it can be selfish. Mm-hmm. And so someone's being selfish, right? And it comes to someone else's birthday or this person's day or their big day, whatever, and it doesn't concern them. But when it's their big day or their birthday, and you real intentional, like, oh, let me make sure we do this, do that, to make that person feel valued, or because you think they deserve the best. But if they don't do that in return, what you're doing is you're allowing that person. Really, you're not allowing that person to really evaluate themselves, to really realize like, hey, you being a little inconsiderate, and now you can't really just say it, because me being an enabler, how can you enable someone and then say that? What you talking about? Because we're so focused as humans, we're so focused on the outcome and what's being received. So if I was to step back and stop enabling, and then it's like, oh dang, I'm gonna have to plan my own big thing, or whatever. Then you can really take that second to really evaluate yourself.
Woo! So let me tell you,
it's big.
It's big. So here's the thing. There are a number of things I heard. I heard learned helplessness, right? Where sometimes we are teaching people to be helpless. And it then becomes a learned behavior. I don't know what to do. Right. I tell people all the time, confusion is sometimes a strategy. Yes. When people say, I'm confused, I don't know. Yeah. Oftentimes that becomes a strategy. If I say I don't know, you'll figure it out for me, right? So learn helplessness. But now here's the thing. And now I was listening to Amber. Part of what I was thinking about with you, I'm going to tell you, y'all threw out too many things that it cannot be unpacked properly. Absolutely. But I would say when Amber talked about the fact of how people will, let's say if you're going through something and they will offer or extend help, but it's really tick for tat. It's really to put it in the reserves and to say later on, this is what I did for you. Right. So is it really help, or was it the strategy of capitalizing on the fact that I was vulnerable at that moment?
Just to make you feel like you're indebted to me.
Exactly. Well, exactly. And here's the thing.
Especially when it wasn't asked.
Exactly.
Well, let's highlight that.
Well, here's the thing. For people, superheroes, most of the people that's watching us, they're the go-to people. Exactly. That's what I know. Yeah. And so when you're the go-to person, asking for help becomes a whole issue anyway. Yes. So when someone extends that grace or that help, at first, initially, you're like, one of the worst things that can happen is that when you trust it and say, okay, let me take my cape off and you got me. Or, that trust game where you do like this and you fall backwards, but then you let me fall. Yeah.
Exactly.
But I'm going to say this, you guys, and I think this is going to, this will probably take us into the break, because what I'm going to throw out now, red meat, I'm going to throw this out now. We cannot complete this before the break. What if the enabler who is helping the enabled is actually the person that's most insecure? What if we enable people because that's how we get our sense of worth? Because it sounds very noble. I'm helping everybody. I am an enabler like that. And it's funny because it would be lovely if we had different perspectives on that. But I just happen to know that all three of us are the enablers. Like, we are the people that people come to. We are the people that's staying up at night worrying about somebody else's problem. Like, what are they going to do? And it's like, it's not your business. Yeah. Each of us, we fit into that profile. That's true. But I'm going to say, before we head over to the break, part of the journey of transformation that I've had over these decades is that what I thought was very noble, and I'm serving, and I'm a martyr, and I'm just giving, and I'm giving, might have been a little selfish. But we'll talk about that when we come back. Teaser, come on back.
Please. Don't forget to eat. Use the bathroom. Come right
on back.
Catch the wave of success with Standing on Business with Dr. Melissa. Unlock your purpose, align it with your entrepreneurial spirit, and witness your business thrive. This isn't just about authenticity, it's about building a foundation so solid, your business becomes synonymous with profitability. Tune in as we delve into marketing strategies that work and create an empire that stands on business. Because when purpose meets strategy, success is inevitable. Standing on Business with Dr. Melissa, where authenticity meets profitability. Catch the wave of success with Standing on Business with Dr.
Okay, so listen, what Dr. Melissa will never do is lie to you. And what I had said to y'all before was that you were going to get a big laugh, and hopefully you did. Yeah. We're learning the system, you all. And here's what I said in my TED Talk. Anything that you do that you've never done before, you will likely suck at it. But if you keep practicing, if you keep showing up, you will suck less and less and less until you no longer suck at all.
Yeah.
We're sucking at this new system right now. Let's just be honest. Keep it a buck or stack.
$1.50.
Or $1.50 or $1,000.
Yeah.
Let's keep it real.
Really
we're sucking right now. And I hope you guys are just rocking with us with that. We will get better and we will suck less and less and less. Hopefully it won't be by the end of the season. But I will say I am the extra at the table, so I'm not really expected to be that good at this.
Well, we're expecting them Gen X's to,
we don't
help
know.
us get out.
As they said, digital literacy. We're slow. So I'm the person at the table. I'm slow. I don't know how to do this. You would think the millennials and the Zers would be better at it, but it turns out,
I believe we're all digitally illiterate at this moment with this new system. So I can't really say it's a specific generation right now. We're all struggling.
It is. It's a specific generation. No, because you guys were born with phones in your hand. Like, honest to God, if you see her baby's like 2 years old and she's got an iPad. So please, please stop acting like we should. Now it's we should all not.
But you do know that the way the world is going and how smart the digital world is getting, you do know at some point we have to take a step back and actually learn it. Like the Gen Alphas probably will get this. Well, we're 2 generations behind. You got the Gen Z, then you got the Millennials. So technically speaking, they would know this. they got to teach us. So, give us a little bit of grace. You know what I'm saying?
Y'all know what this is? This is the world's smallest violin. It's a sad song.
This is SpongeBob reference.
Okay, y'all. Anyway, back to our topic about enabling.
Yes.
And one of the things that I threw out there, and listen, I self-disclosed, is that sometimes, and even over the 30 years when I've met with families, it's that martyrdom. I am the person that's doing everything. I'm the person that holds it down. I'm the person that figures out everything for everyone. And I'm going to tell you, it's not that that's not noble and wonderful and a blessing that you're able to help people.
Right.
But you have to be aware of when the help that you're given is more for your benefit than others.
Right.
And for me, I needed to be needed. I needed to be the go-to.
Right.
And I was upset when I wasn't. It was like, come to me. But then after people would come to me, I go, everybody comes to me.
Right. It's kind of like a double standard, right?
Yeah.
It's really a big double standard because that's how I was. I was like, well, I need to be needed. Just why I was saying like relationship wise, like you say you want an independent individual as your partner. But then when you get an independent individual that's your partner, you're upset because they're doing everything for themselves. And I'm like, so what am I supposed to do? Because I'm used to having to do everything. Right. Or I'm feeling like within my role, I'm supposed to do certain things. Right. But you're like, well, you want this person to have their own house, car, job. Like, now you mad because that's what you asked for. And you got it. So what you mad for?
Right.
It's really a double standard that we do. But I mean, sometimes that's just how we are because sometimes we don't have that self-awareness. Right. And we need our own like internal, you're doing a good job.
Exactly.
So yeah. Exactly. A bad habit to have sometimes, but when you understand it and when you grow from it, it's all good.
No, 100. Because you need that to like as y'all were saying, you need that to kind of feel your own sense of self-righteousness, Yes. But like you alluded to, what's the intention behind it? Is the purpose of your deeds? Is it to help that individual? Or again, to feel your own sense of self-righteousness? And I would just say it in my life, I would say initially, I wanted to be that person because I think a lot of times in relationships, there's different dynamics, there's different roles. And then I felt like my role aligned with that position of being the person to come to. And so there was an expectation for you to provide, but then you almost fall in love with that role. And then you're able to really accept that role. Like, it makes me feel good. Yeah. And so now you're really intentional of fueling that feeling that you got that first time you got that feeling. It's like, oh, yeah, man. Right. So then, like you said, it's a paradox because then it's like it becomes overwhelming because you're human at the end of the day. So then when you get overwhelmed, when people are doing what you want them to do, maybe at an extreme rate, but they're still doing what you want them to do, it becomes overwhelming. And now it's just like, I'm being taken advantage of and this, that, and forth. So I do think it's a good thing. You never want to enable it. There always has to be, you have to really assess the situation to find out, are you really helping that person by your deeds or not? Because if not, like I said, it becomes very self-centered.
You said the words of both of you. You said self-awareness, and then I heard you say the word expectation. Absolutely. I think that's the problem. When things become an expectation, I think that's where we run into a problem.
Right.
Here's what I'm going to tell you when we talk about help versus enabling.
Exactly.
There is a difference. Exactly. They look the same, y'all. It's like somebody said to me, margarine ain't no different than butter. Right? I beg to differ if you taste it. However, on the surface, salt and sugar looks the same, right? Yep. Help and enabling it looks exactly the same.
No, that's deep.
You get down to, I know, right?
That was deep. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but that was deep.
That's right.
Yeah, it looks the same. So then now we have to get to motives.
Right.
Yeah.
But before you can get to what your motives are, you have to be self-aware of where you stand, how you see yourself.
Right.
If I am helping because I see myself as a helper, because I feel called to help, here's what I'm going to tell you. That's wonderful. But when people are truly called to help, they're also very discerning.
Yeah.
So they know when to help and when not. It's like, no. In this situation, because they're not getting their worth and value from that interaction. Exactly. It is truly this thing of, this is what I'm called to do. My role in this moment is to help you. We do it with clients all the time. Like, it's not our job to take on their lives, but when they come, our job is to pour into them.
Absolutely.
And we don't expect reciprocity.
Exactly.
I've been doing this for 30 years. I've never gone home and said, the client never called me. The client, every time the client come, all they do is just want something from me and they never give back.
Right.
I've never said that because it's not transactional.
Exactly.
That role is for me to pour into them. Now it's transactional because you got to pay for the services, y'all. Come on, got to keep the lights on.
Get that money.
Yeah, we
on.
there is an exchange for the services that you give.
Right,
but
right.
what I'm saying is there's not a personal exchange. When you get to a point where you have a relationship, and this is where I'm hoping you can start to discern between whether it's help or enabling. First of all, if it feels expected, if you feel like, oh, this is what I gotta do, this is my role, this is what they need me to do, and you feel like you're gonna lose something if you don't.
Conditional.
Right? Conditional is the word.
Yep.
Then I'm gonna say to you, check to see if it's more enabling.
Right.
The other thing is, if you have this feeling of worthlessness, if people don't need you, if in the morning you don't wake up and feel like a whole, complete, full person, like with just me, am I full and complete? And God bless if I have blessings to impart to others. That's a bonus. Right. But when I wake up in the morning, am I able to look in the mirror and feel whole and complete within myself?
Right.
Not perfect. Not that the world, everything, the sun is shining every day.
Right.
But if I need to pour into you and pour into you, if I need you to say thank you, if I need you to say I need you, then I'm going to say that there's a missing part, right? That, and I think a lot of us struggle with it, myself included.
Yeah. And I agree. I think you have to be able to replenish your own cup once you pour into someone. Yes. And you can't allow someone else to do that replenishing for you. You got to have that ability to replenish yourself once you pour into people, because you have to be able to replenish it to pour into people. If you don't, you're going to run out of gas.
Exactly.
You got to care for yourself.
And I feel like a lot of it, the foundation of it is just what people typically do. And shoot, I'm guilty of that myself. I'll be the first to tell you. It's that, like, when people miscategorize what someone is. Because in relationships, there's not just friend. Like, there's friend, there might be an associate or an acquaintance. And then, to me, an assignment, like where you're there to help that person for a time. But if it's prolonged, it can become very detrimental to you and them, because now you're the enabler and they're the enabled. And then whatever progression they would have made is halted because it wasn't supposed to be prolonged.
And you're halting it.
Exactly.
Because what you don't even understand, I need you. This is the hallmark of some relationships, emotionally draining, emotionally toxic relationships. I need you to stay small. I need you to keep needing me. And God forbid if you actually get it, and it's like carrying around a baby and they finally learn to walk, and it's like, I can't carry you anymore, because they're like, I want to walk.
Right.
We have to be careful that that learned helplessness, where we don't contribute to that, where we don't give people the opportunity to be strong. We don't give people the opportunity to figure it out. I'm the oldest of 3, and I would tell you, well into my adulthood, I was so addicted to trying to figure things out for my sisters that I didn't even give them a chance to figure it out. If they said, I've got this issue, this is what you're going to do, this is what let me do this, let me do that. Right. And I never, and so,
look at God. Amen.
Amen.
Wow.
Hey, y'all. So guess what? Right now, I feel like we're being
tested,
enabled. And we need somebody to enable us. Out there in virtual land, if you realize that we're on the struggle bus and you know somebody who can maybe drive the bus for a little while, let us know.
Not the short one, the long one. So we have some space.
So let me. Man.
It's only me, right?
So let me tell y'all, this is what's so wonderful about this topic.
Yes.
Yeah. So it goes to enabling and help, right?
Yes.
We need help at this point.
There's a difference.
We need co-play help. I almost cried.
Yeah. So yeah. We are we're navigating this, and
Yes.
the beautiful thing about it is you guys get to go along with us and watch.
Yes.
What I hope that we're showing you in real time. Now I get deep.
Okay.
You know I get deep. Is that one of the greatest gifts you can give yourself is the gift of being able to embrace imperfection. Mm-hmm. Imperfect action is better than perfect inaction. Mm-hmm. Some might have said, "Oh," and I listen. It was a tempting thought. We need to take more time to learn this platform, and maybe we need to shorten the season while we navigate the whole nuances of this platform, and that would have been perfect inaction, and that also would have been not being able to show you, take you along with us, to show you that whatever's going on in your life that doesn't come out exactly right, what I'm going to say to you is if you're in action, you're exactly where you need to be. We've decided to take this on right in the middle of the season. Amen. Now, I don't know if I would do it again, to be honest with you, but I hope that we're showing you perfection is a myth. And I would much rather be sitting at this table with these two brilliant people, having an opportunity to impart to you with all of the foolishness that's going on with the system right now, than to be sitting somewhere thinking about, oh, let's be perfect, because we want them to think that we are so polished. Yeah. I'm going to leave it with this, y'all. I got married almost 2 years ago. I got a little trauma with it. Just hold on.
They already know what you're about to say.
The DJ. So the DJ. It was an outdoor venue.
Oh, this
y'all
story.
On two at the convergence of two rivers. The most beautiful scenery you could ever have.
Yes.
I mean, I had a major Grammy Award nominated person coming to sing. This was beautiful.
It was.
This was I had never had a wedding before. I was married 31 years before, but we were young and broke. Never had a wedding. So this was important. And I'm standing at the top of this beautiful step that I'm supposed to come down, and there should be music playing.
And all we hear is
it's
a scratch board.
Yes, scratch board. Because the DJ's equipment, I guess, was burning in the sun, and he hadn't anticipated, and so y'all come down, and I will tell you, before I started walking, I was about to cry, and my baby son said to me, he said, "Mom, it's all right." And I looked down the way, and I saw my husband-to-be standing there, and I heard this voice that said, "Is it about them?" Because I was like, "Oh my God, people are here. Is it about them or him?" And I was like, "It's about him." So I walked down, y'all, and this is the part that just lets you know how crazy Dr. M is. I walked down to that song. Then when you get right there to the part where normally is "Here Comes the Bride," I had this very special song. Because, now I'm about there by the red carpet. Everybody's looking at me. It's like, yes. Y'all, Dr. Melissa sang her own song.
She did.
Did I not?
She did.
I was like.
What was the song?
It was Rotimi. I do.
Mm-hmm.
Today is your day. You look beautiful in a dress, baby. I sang that coming down. I sang it coming down.
She sure did.
Because nothing was going to stop that day and that moment.
That part.
Right? That's the resilience that I want you to take.
Yes.
Like, yeah, there's going to be hiccups and all that. I don't know what that has to do with enabling.
It was needed. Somebody needed that.
Okay, good. Because I'm trying to sit here. I'm normally able to tie it back in, and I'm thinking.
It was inspirational, though, so it doesn't matter.
That's why I said somebody
needed it. And then another thing that was very inspirational to me is today is what? March 25th.
It is.
2025.
Yes.
And this is the first time I heard someone say nothing and the G's not silent. So I want y'all to mark that down in your calendar.
Oh, MG's out.
No, it was very inspirational. It's inspirational. Nothing. Go. So you did it.
And I said with the G. So clearly I was trying to punctuate the word.
I love it.
It's some people out here just saying nothing.
Which is not the word.
Yeah, I know. That's what he's saying. He's saying he's happy that you actually said the right word, which is nothing.
No, I think he was saying that.
No. I thought the G's silent. Nothing. Like nothing.
Who said that?
A lot of people.
I thought that's what how it was.
Which English teacher? Let me know, because I'm going to go back and talk to them, because they did not instruct my son correctly.
Oh, you really thought it was nothing?
Yeah.
That's just how we text.
Like amazing.
It's the G is there for a reason.
Nothing.
I thought it was there just to be silent.
It's not
amazing.
Silent. There are some letters that are silent in words.
It may sound a little
amazing.
weird, but it's still
amazing.
Amazing.
Just because y'all want to just cut off words.
Amazing.
No.
Not
so
amazing.
So why did we put the G there, Zion?
Yeah, amazing.
Zion, why did they put the G there?
Because
they had nothing else to do.
As we know, the English language is the most complex language for no reason, and it's stupid.
It is the hardest one to learn.
It's a dumb language.
Oh, so they just
you got foreigners who come here and struggle more with English than any other language because it's inconsistent.
I mean, duh, because that's not their first language. Of course, they're going to struggle with it.
No.
But I have heard that English in other countries is hard to learn. But still,
right, that's what I'm saying.
How you going to call something that you talk dumb?
Because that's just.
Well, I'll be honest with you. Can I speak for the answer?
Still a dumb language.
Can I speak? I think what's dumb is what's been done to the English language by the modern generations.
We have
and how they have butchered, like text messages, letters missing, no punctuation, no capitalization.
That is true.
Like, so what's happened to the English language has happened by your generation.
Life's too serious. You got to use slang.
Oh,
speaking of slang, where's the G? Slinger? Is that how am I supposed to pronounce it?
Slang
with the G. Slang language.
I'm just saying the English language is a little too inconsistent.
So y'all made your own language.
No, that's not true. That's
give it another name. It's not English.
Nike?
What?
Nike?
You keep saying Nike, and we've been trying to figure out
what I'm saying. But if I put an M in front of it, what is it called instead of the N?
Mike.
Why?
So it should be Nike. I got you.
Why? But that's okay. You don't hear any old heads complaining about that. That's okay.
So I'm not going to enable Zion.
That's exactly what he wants
with this conversation. Because it's learned helplessness. Here's the thing about let's put a bow on this, because what he wants to do right now, he clearly needs help.
Yeah, we all do.
Because he does need to respect the letters that somebody thought was important enough to put at the end of the word. It's not his language. He did not create English, and it's not his right to decide that we're not going to use a G.
It's all silent.
It's not silent. No. But we're not going to enable him. For those of you that would like to school Zion on the final points of grammaticals, please email us at what's the T .xyz. By the way, that's our email for everything. If there's a topic that you want us to cover, if there's something that you want to share, listen, we read those things. We read every single one. And we thank you, those of you that do email in. And a lot of times what we're talking about, we really pull from our viewers. So send us an email. What's the T .xyz. Somebody said, where's the .com? It's not .com. It's .xyz.
That's the cool part about it.
That's cool, right? So send us an email, but
the Z is not silent.
The Z.
Just so y'all know.
I miss Paris.
Dang, you weren't happy to see us.
No, while y'all at it too, go ahead and put words that are formed the same way, but because there's a change in the letter, that it doesn't sound the same.
It's not pronounced the same.
Yeah, it's not pronounced the same, right? Like y'all go ahead and send words like that for me.
Y'all, he's not gonna let it go.
Because the English language ain't good. Shoot, that could be a topic, man.
Ain't good. Amen.
Ain't good.
Isn't good.
It's not good. It don't matter. Ain't. It's not.
See, isn't and
won't
it's not.
Be, will
same.
not, ever. No, it's not good.
So,
all right,
my dear viewers, we have to keep this conversation brewing. We have to ask questions, listen to understand, and acknowledge the unique challenges that each generation faces. And then we gotta look for common ground. Because, trust me, it's there. Well, until next time, y'all, keep sipping and keep talking. Tune in next week for another thought-provoking and entertaining conversation that bridges the generation gap, one cup at a time. Take care.